How did this foundation come into existence, David?
Well, up until about 11 years ago, there had been a special subsidy or weighting given to classical music by PRS in its distributions, where a certain amount was added on every year to make the value up to a certain amount. A lot of the songwriters felt this was unfair because the money came from a source which we couldn't identify, but which certainly, hotel lifts, hairdressers, that sort of thing, certainly wouldn't have been earned by classical music. So a committee was set up, and there were all sorts of little wrinkles like that where people were sent £25 if they hadn't earned anything. The MMC had investigated PRS and said we must be much more transparent and much more straightforward in the way we gave out the money. So a committee was formed to see which of these things we could keep and which we couldn't, and it soon became clear that the classical subsidy or weighting had to go. At which point John Hutchinson, the then chief executive, decided that we should make this committee think about setting up a foundation independent from PRS, but nevertheless funded by PRS, which would be open to music of any genre, not just classical. So the first £1 million went. As I'd been on that committee, I was asked to be the chair of the foundation, the first chair of the PRS Foundation.
And how did that process go, the creation of the foundation? What did it involve? How long did it take?
It involved, first of all, sorting out all the various schemes, what the money would be given for, trying to make sure, of course, that it was multi-genre, any genre could apply, and the whole culture of funding applications was geared towards classical music. The PRS had a committee called the Donations Committee, for which people applied. It was given £350,000 a year, and people could apply, but always classical people were applying. There isn't that sort of culture in rock and pop music or jazz or folk for applying for funding. So we had to make sure that the schemes included all the genres, and then we had to decide on how large the governance, how large the committee should be, what it should consist of. And we had this concept that there should be a large body of advisors, just advisors, who weren't trustees, but who could be given the applications in advance and who were experts in every possible genre, who could make suggestions as to the amount of funding that should be received, although the trustees had the final say in the matter. And so we decided to have the trustees from various areas of the music business.